Okay, so looking at my gardens, I've just come out to do some cleaning because I've been annoyed is not even the word. The crop is being devastated by caterpillars. Moth, butterfly, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day the damage is the same. And these are the Brussels sprouts, which as you can see the tops have actually been really badly damaged inside, so I don't even know if they're going to keep growing. They're not supposed to be ready until November, December. So what I've been doing is picking off the caterpillars and chucking them into some soapy water. This is actually soapy water from yesterday that I just left out during the rain and started picking them off. Those are actually beetles that were on my beans, which I also picked off and chucked in the soapy water, or just knocked off into the soapy water. So my problem now is this stuff is organic. This is an organic garden, and so I'm trying to keep it that way. And I quite like Espoma products, and it's an organic insecticidal soap, which I'm trying not to use because it actually will kill the lacewing larvae, which I put out. And somewhere in here I thought they weren't working at all, but then I saw some lacewing eggs. So it looks like one there. Once I find those, I'll take a picture of those for you guys and let you see what they look like. So I didn't want to keep spraying. I tried to spot spray just a little bit as I was picking the caterpillars off, but I don't want to keep spraying if the lacewings are actually here and laying eggs. As you can see, those are eggs all in my Brussels sprout crevices, caterpillar eggs. So they are, I've never seen anything like it in my years of gardening. So I am just trying to figure out whether some of this crop is worth trying to save or if I should chuck it and start again. This particular cabbage has so many eggs in it that I could scoop it out with a spoon. Let's see if I can get you a picture of that. Right down in there you can see those are all butterfly moth eggs. Same thing over here. You could literally scoop it out with a spoon. It's actually quite gross. So the question is, do I try to save it? You can see the head's been badly damaged. There's it's a bit of debris as well, just from the plant dying. And various things eating it. Oh, look at that. A ton more eggs. And of course there are the actual caterpillars themselves. You can see right there. There's a couple down in there. So the butterflies and moths are doing me in. This particular plant, you can't even find him, the top has literally been eaten right out of it. That's either a cauliflower. It's a cauliflower. It used to be a cauliflower. So I might try to save something like this, which is a red cabbage. But some of them, that's just cut broccoli. Some of them have been so devastated, like this one on the inside, that I don't think they're going to keep growing. So there we go. Trying to figure out what to do. Right now I'm trying to let the lacewings hatch and continue to fight it. And I'll give it another week or so to see if the damage slows down. And if not, I will pull it out. With so many eggs, I don't even know if the insecticidal soap will kill that. There's a lovely little, what looks to be a predatory insect in there. So with any luck, that'll help. I'll try to figure out some ways of maybe inviting more predatory insects or birds or whatever have you. And do some homework. This is a new one for me, having this much damage to my brassicas. So if you have any suggestions or comments, ways of keeping it completely organic, without the use of sprays that'll slow down this amount of damage, that'd be great. Alright, otherwise I will let you all know how it goes. Alright, have a good day. Okay, so we were talking about this cabbage that had so many eggs I could spoon it out. I went to just try and clean it up a little bit, and looking at this, it looks like the actual cabbage has started getting some rot just from the wet eggs, which, you know, and as you can see, there's plenty of caterpillars to be found, much to my annoyance. I think I'm just going to just pull this one out. I don't think it's I don't think you can save it. It's not going to have enough growth, and it's just kind of gross. Like, I can't imagine pulling that out and then washing it enough to cook it. By the time you finish getting the damage out, there won't be much to eat. But I will try to save this fellow here. So perhaps pulling out the things that have the most egg damage. Hopefully I can save some of the other stuff. Let you know how it goes. Okay, so what I'm doing here is this particular cabbage had so many caterpillar eggs in it that it really was no saving it. There's a dead earwig. As you can see, there's still caterpillars in it, but I wanted you to just see what they look like and also what I was going to do with it. So this is the eggs with a couple caterpillars there, and so the eggs are so wet that it was actually rotting the cabbage itself. And as I open it, you can see there's eggs everywhere, there's caterpillars everywhere. I'm doing this in an old pool that we no longer use, and I'm using just an old trowel to help break it up a bit, because I don't want to risk getting eggs on the one that I currently use and then shoving it back into my garden. So all I'm doing is just breaking it up a bit for the compost. There are those who would say, the truth is, these are still, you know, edible to some people if you wash them thoroughly and, you know, pull the bits apart. But the truth is, I'm so grossed out that I wouldn't dare wash it. I couldn't wash it good enough for me to be satisfied cleaning it. So you can see all the eggs in here. Yes, I know there are those who would say I'm a priss about that, and I'm okay with that. But it's just not for me. So all those eggs, we're just going to break it up and chuck it into the compost. If you have an outdoor compost, you don't want to do that because you run the risk of them still hatching, of course, and causing more moths and butterflies in your garden. I actually have a compost bin, and so for me, they're not going to survive in the extreme heat of that compost bin. So I'm just going to chuck it all in the bin, and then I'll take this pool and just run some soapy water through it, which will also help to get rid of any eggs. And I'll tip it right onto the concrete so that if there's any alive after that or viable eggs, they'll just fry right on the concrete. But that way I don't waste the cabbage itself when it could be composted. All right, take care. So here's a good example of why the broccoli is going out. So you can see the two little ones there. But if you look carefully, that's not the only problem. Let's see if I can get a good picture of that. So you've got quite a few hiding in there. You see those there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 big ones. Another small one, and undoubtedly that's actually one. The dark one looks like one got stuck, which is a bit just nasty. But they're all over. So we are chucking out all of the broccoli. Because we suspect they're all going to be like this. So we're going to chuck it out, throw it into the compost bin. If you have a compost pile, you don't want to chuck this in because you'll just end up with the same issue with them becoming moths or butterflies or whatever they originally laid the eggs. But if you have a compost bin, they won't survive in the bin. Alright, and we are still pulling out the brassicas. We have a heavy caterpillar infestation. And it's just our method of last resort. Since it's an organic garden, you don't really want to risk spraying. Again, just like the Brussels sprouts, there are eggs down in the crevices, which you could wash out, and they'll just climb into something else. So the only real option with this amount of devastation to stay organic seemed to be to destroy the plant. Those that we can save, we will. We're aiming to save the Brussels sprouts and get rid of everything else, since the Brussels sprouts still have a long time to recover, not needing to be ready until very late fall, early winter. Alright, and we'll keep you posted.